Yo, what's up guys, it's Dugga. I wanted to talk about a weapon perk that I personally believe is honestly underrated. I was looking through my weapons and I saw my Anonymous Autumn wasn't one of the curated suggested roles, and it was specifically because it had Threat Detector on it. Now, from what I know about Threat Detector, it gives you three things: increased reload, stability, and handling. However, there are two additional things that it'll give you that I'll talk about a little bit later. I first wanted to go over exactly when Threat Detector would proc when it comes to being in proximity of an enemy, and that was at 14 meters. I then wanted to go over the benefits of Threat Detector and start off with reload speed. So for my sidearm, with having no enemies, my reload speed was 1.47 seconds. And then when I got into range of one enemy, it actually increased, of course, to 1.3 seconds, which was 8.5% faster, and two enemies was 1.13 seconds, which was 17% faster. The next benefit I wanted to go over was stability. And I kind of want to show you stability in a sense where I wasn't controlling the reticle. And this just kind of shows you exactly how far the spacing of your shot group was. The closer you got to enemies and you actually got towards more enemies, you can see that the stability is just a little bit of a tighter shot group. Now for the last known benefit of Threat Detector, we have handling. And I wanted to show this basically in a time to stow our weapon and the time it takes to draw our weapon. So for our baseline, we have 1 second stow and 0.83 seconds to draw our weapon. Once we come into proximity to where we proc Threat Detector, we have a 3.5% increase in stow and a 10% increase to draw our weapon. But once we go Threat Detector times 2, we now have a 5% increase in stow speed and 11.5% increase in draw speed. Now for the first unknown benefit of Threat Detector, we have ADS detection. And what this basically does is when you're aiming down sights, you lose that radar, so you don't necessarily know when enemies are close to you or when they've actually disengaged and left your area. So while you're aiming down sights, you can see in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, Threat Detector active if there's still an enemy there. So you can kind of always be ready for when an enemy is going to push you, or you'll kind of know when an enemy disengages based off whether Threat Detector is active or not. So for the last unknown benefit of Threat Detector, we have Weapon Swap Indicator. And what this basically does is it kind of helps you in a way of understanding if you're using a sidearm specifically and you go outside of that 14 meter range, which is not an optimal kill time for most sidearms, being that they have a damage fall off roughly around 15 meters. As soon as Threat Detector isn't proccing anymore, it'll kind of give you a cue of when to swap weapons, something that's a little bit more optimal outside of that 15 meter range. So that's pretty much it. I think that Threat Detector is pretty underrated. There are three really good benefits of having it, and there's two unknown benefits that I think are actually pretty good, especially if you want the advantage over somebody and you just want to have that better overall type of weapon. So hope you guys enjoyed. You guys take it easy.